Hey, my name is Antonio Baldwin, but if you saw me on the street, it would be Tony Talks. And oh gosh, no. But if you saw me on the street, it's just Tony. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and this is my story.
What I want, I get. 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 I see it when I gotta have it, cop it, still a double back it. See it when I gotta have it, cop it, still a double. See it when I gotta have it, cop it, still a double back it. See it when I gotta have it, cop it, still a double back.
Oh my God, baby, you are so cute. So my coming out story was it was interesting. And the reason I can say interesting is because I was fortunate enough to have parents who were accepting, opposed to people who may have not been as accepting. So my coming out story, I met this guy who was like crazy and whatnot. And I was hiding him technically because I had his name is Kavan, but I was hiding it and putting his name being Kayla because I didn't want, my family and all that stuff to know that, it was a guy that I was dating and blah, blah. So long story short, you can't hide it when you're in love. You can't. Like people try to, but when you're in love, it's real. So what happened was my mom ended up asking more and more questions. I started inviting him to the house. I stopped really caring. And then that's when she just pulled me in there and was saying, is this the guy that you're dating? And that's when I was like, what are you talking about? And that's when she was like, is this the guy? And I was like, I mean, he might be. And then there you go. Like that was the coming out story. It wasn't like a big, Mom, I'm gay and da, 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 da. It wasn't like fortunately I was able to have that coming out experience with my dad. We don't really talk about it, but he knows everything. Like he knows everything. He's very supportive of everything I do. So I mean, realistically they have to be because I put myself open to the world 24/7. So the way I see it is if I'm okay with myself, you're gonna be okay with me too. So the journey from Virginia to Atlanta was more of like a self-discovery kind of journey. Now, granted, it wasn't for me. I mean, I was moving with my family, but I came to a spot where being yourself, there was a lot more gay people here. And it was kind of one of those things where I kind of learned who I was. And fortunate enough, I was able to put that on camera and show the world that process. When I moved to Atlanta is when I was kind of really pursuing acting. And I had a guy named Dwayne Dixon who was awesome and he gave me my first shot at being in a movie. Well, it was an independent film, but it was still a red carpet awesome movie to me. And what it was it was a character. Oh, and also I had to audition for it, but it wasn't really like, he kind of like pitched the role to me. So it was kind of like just showing him that I was able to memorize lines and stuff like that. My very first thing, I had no type of agent or nothing like that. Now in this, with the role, I was playing a guy named Kyle who was gay, coming out to his dad, and his dad wasn't really accepting it. So what ended up happening was, he went through a lot of depression, a lot of self-hate, tried to kill himself, and it was just crazy. So I really liked it though, because I feel like that did relate and opened eyes to a lot of different people. It opened eyes for adults who are like really homophobic, and then it opened eyes to people who need to come out and, show the world who they are. And I related with it. I really did. I've never had like a suicide attempt, but it was, I've been through I've been through depression, and I felt like with playing that role, I had to enter that. And, it was a very dark spot and stuff like that. So, it was nice though. It was a beautiful movie. You should catch it. So how I got started as Tony Talks was I literally just picked up a phone and I started advancing my personality on camera. So who I became now, the whole journey of who I was and who I am now is Tony Talks completely. So before Tony Talks was that, it was Well I Mean I Guess. And that was a whole struggle of insecurities and everything like that. And then that's when I just learned from experience to get rid of some of the flaws, embrace the other flaws, and create Tony Talks. So that process of self-discovery is kind of like what I said earlier. It's kind of getting rid of some of the flaws that you have and accepting the other ones. So as for an example would be I like to talk. I like to talk and express what's on my mind. And that's exactly what I did with Tony Talks. So I embraced that instead of being ashamed of always wanting to talk about this, always wanting to talk about that. And then boom, now we're here. So I would definitely call my style of comedy sketch comedy. I would. Reason being is because everything is different. So every skit you see is different, or it can be a series, but realistically, everything is a little bit different. I mean, I can make you cry, but then make you smile at the end. So it's kind of like a tragic comedy. But it's just, I feel like it's just a little bit of everything. I feel like that's why people gravitate towards me, because I can give you everything. Like, I can make you cry, smile, think about yourself, become yourself, and just, just love who you are. With finding who you are, and as I said earlier, with you getting rid of flaws and embracing flaws, you enter a weird state. You enter a weird state where you have to learn how to accept who you are. And there's certain parts of me that I was having problems accepting just due to society and all stuff like that. But what I can say is, with me forcing myself out into the world with videos and interviews and stuff like that, I have to kind of be extremely vulnerable. And that was something that was very difficult for me to do previously. But let me tell you something. I've been forcing myself out of my comfort zone for a very, very long time, because there's nothing but beautifulness outside of your comfort zone. And what I learned is that, listen, be yourself and you'll be okay. That depression that I had, easy to just walk right out of, because I kept putting myself out of my comfort zone. So, yeah. All right, so some of the characters in my videos are inspired by a lot of different people from my family. Mainly my mom and my aunt, and just the characteristics that they have shown me growing up. So famous characters like the boss lady, with the crazy, crazy wig, that was strictly my sister and my mom. Simply because my mom loves me, and my mom loves, she's a very loving person, but she's like a very hard lover. And that's why everyone gravitates towards that boss lady, because, it's like a very likable person, but she's still kind of like oh, can I cuss? Yeah. But, she's still kind of like, an asshole a little bit, but it's like a likable asshole. Like, we kind of like her. Like, she smells like shit, but she's still, a beautiful asshole. So with all of my videos, there have been times where I have had a video where it was very successful, opposed to ones that were not. Half the time, all the ones that were not, I spent hours making. And it's just so crazy to me, because the world and your audience and all that, it works so crazy. Like, I'm just now understanding everything in a sense, but I would literally sit here and make a video for like 4 hours and it'll still do good, but it won't do like what I thought it would, you know what I'm saying? And it's just those videos that take 5 seconds to make that people just love. Like, an example would be the video where I added, the video that I added all my characters into. I added every character that I have into this video and thought it would just be like one of those grand, oh my God, this guy is so da 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 da. It was not. That video took forever, and it was appreciated. I can definitely see that, but it wasn't like to the extent that I wanted it to be at. Opposed to me making a video of me just looking in the mirror, shaking my hair, and that video just blowing up and the world is just going crazy about it. Summer Walker commented on it and stuff like that. And I was just like, wow, like, if I can give my younger self one piece of advice, it would definitely be to just keep going. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of times when I was younger, I got very insecure about certain things that I would not post, because I wasn't really posting things, but just recording and showing other people, because I thought it was just very weird and very like, just, who is this? But listen, I didn't have me to necessarily tell me to keep going and continue being yourself. It was kind of those moments where it was like, you know what, I'm gonna just take a break, leave it alone, and then come back. But if I could hold my hand and just let my old self know, listen, you do not realize the world is gonna need you one day. You just gotta keep going. I say that to myself now. My older Tony standing right next to me, he's telling me the same thing. So it's just, I constantly motivate myself. So that is definitely something I would tell my younger self. Once again, my name is Antonio Baldwin, AKA Tony Talks, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Once again, why whisper when you can talk? Tony Talks. All right, I'm out. I'm done.